You are now listening to Radio HAVN.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Episode 2. We are back over here again at Radio HAVN. You know it's your boy, your host, DJ McLovin, back over here with another banger, okay? And this time, a little bit different, a little bit more vibes, a little bit more incentive, because as a DJ, yes, I do love to play music. I also love to produce, but it's also my job to educate and expose the new talent that you might not be familiar with. And what better place to do that than over here at Radio HAVN. Now, our next guest that we're bringing on to you guys over here is catering a certain sound that only few know about, but more should. Okay, so this is where I get to transition you guys from going to who is this into becoming, I got to follow this dude ASAP. From producer to making the beats into becoming a DJ and playing his beats. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome in Don Diego.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's what I'm talking about, dude. So how you feeling? How we feeling over here today?
I'm good, man. I'm excited.
That's what I'm talking about, dude. See, now I like to go down the rabbit hole, and I find myself like as a DJ, I remember back when I first started just going down and constantly looking at names I've never heard before. You know, when you see social media, you see TV, you see news, you constantly see all the big names and stuff out there, but then there's a lot of underground names that people aren't necessarily exposed to just yet. And even those same big names, they were underground at some point before, and eventually became, mainstream. They became celebrities and stuff like that. But before we get to where you are today, I think it's only fair to discuss to the people a little bit more of the foundation of Don Diego. So why don't we start from a little bit of an origin story, if you will, and tell us how we, got to Don Diego today. So what's the foundation? What was the seed planted?
Right. Yeah, I come from a musical family background. My aunt she sings and then plays piano in a church. And then my grandpa back in my country, he's part of a band that's like pretty famous over there. So, but I started making beats in 2017, started with producing, and then got more into engineering, and then into DJing.
Nice. So you grew up with like music just being surrounded by you, and then from there, like you just kind of found your own grasp into it, and then from there on, just like took on your own role.
Exactly. Yep.
Cool. So, would you say that even today, still like with that upbringing, there's still a level of like heavy influence that like you grew up around with that you still incorporate today?
Yeah, I mean, I try to do my own thing really, but just having them, and my parents are really supportive too with my whole music career. But my immediate family isn't really musical, just me for some reason. But no, they enjoy my music, so I'm happy about that.
Nice. So when you made the distinction where you were like, you know what, I want to start making, and like what was that like when you were in that headspace where like, because obviously like you said, you grew up around music, you have family that plays instruments from here and back at home. When did what was that like? What was that moment like for you? Where you're just like, you know what, let me crack open this laptop and give it a try. Like, what was that like?
I think I was just bored. I started doing research on like producing beats because I was interested in it for some reason. And then, I downloaded FL Studio. I started cooking. I gave up for a little bit and I got really bored and just got back into it and then just never stopped from there.
It's amazing how a lot of people I feel like, especially as creatives, people fall into like some people, I did not say all, but some people fall into like being a creative and they don't know what kind of creative outlet they're going to come into, whether that's music, that's art. There's so many different forms of creativity, but especially with music, because realistically, there's no end to the spectrum when it comes down to creating music. You have genres from all around the world, all aspects and walks of life, where it's just like anything sound-wise could become a huge element in what makes and composes a song altogether today.
Absolutely.
So when you were in that space of boredom and you were kind of just like ruminating around trying to figure out like what do I do on FL now? Like what are we starting off with hi-hat? Like what was your where did you start? Would you say like in terms of composing like and making beats and stuff?
So I went to YouTube University.
One of the best universities,
Yes.
I might add.
Absolutely.
Okay? Not Harvard, okay? Not no CUNY. No, YouTube. No, seriously, YouTube
Yeah.
University, it's a university. There's always
Exactly.
somebody out there willing to be like, let me show you how to do this. And then from there, once you grab once you get the grasp of it,
Yeah.
you're just running through with this. So YouTube University.
Exactly.
And what were like some of like the first fundamental things that you started producing? Because like now I'm assuming like there's like a certain repertoire that you have. But,
Yeah.
like, yeah. What was the first couple things?
So I started off with trap music, which was like the biggest wave at the time.
Especially back in like 2017, 2016 area.
Yeah,
Like,
2017, 2016. You know, that I was listening to a lot of Gunna, Lil Baby, stuff like that. And then I started doing some more reggaeton stuff too, like more Spanish, get into my culture, because I'm Peruvian.
Shout out to Peru.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
And then,
I'll be in Machu Picchu soon. Okay, at
Right.
some point, right? I'll be over there. I'll be
shout
over
out
there at
Peru,
one point.
man.
Yo.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay. And then from trap to reggaeton, and today we're house.
House music, yes, sir. So I started getting into EDM, I'd say about like 3 years ago. Went to my first rave, and then that's when everything changed for me, really. Started going into the electronic music route.
And you were just like, you saw like who what rave was it? Who'd you see?
I believe I think it was the Martinez brothers or Dom Dalla. I can't remember which one.
And then from there, like just seeing that you saw something, you were like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, nah, I gotta do this. I want to do this too. I can do this.
I was like, yeah, I need to be on that stage. That's what did it for me.
It's a different feeling. It's a completely different feeling, especially like when you see that. It's one thing to see it in the crowd and then see yourself on that stage
Yeah.
too as well. Like displace yourself and be like, yo, can I do this? And then you were like, yeah, no, like it just comes to you naturally.
Exactly.
So being the fact that that was your first rave, that's kind of what sparked the interest into transitioning into house music. Who would you say when you started out producing house music, like who were your influences?
I would say like tech house producers. That was like Odd Mob. What else? West End. Yeah, John Summit. Those are really good producers. Yeah.
And tech house especially, because I like house people. Like, all right, so for those that aren't aware, house music, I call it an umbrella genre, because within house music you have bass house, you have tech house, you have trap house, you have rap house, you have Afro house. There's so many different variants of house music. It's ridiculous. Like the list just never ends, and almost every year now we're introduced to a new form, and sometimes it's a form that may have been around a lot longer but didn't surface up to our ears till a certain point in time. But is there what's your niche that you feel like where it's like, okay, there's house, there's tech house, but what's Don Diego's house?
I experimented with a lot of different subgenres within house, but I gotta say my favorite one that I'm making now is just tech house, like kind of bassy too. It's like a blend of bass house and like tech house.
Okay.
So it's like yeah, it's just bass music but in house, but not too crazy. You know what I mean?
Cool. I mean, house music is so much fun to juggle and play around with, and the way you could manipulate it too. Like especially like being a producer, you're just sitting there, you're going through constant sound samples. You're going through just playing with the attack, the reverb, the leveling out, the mastering. Like it's really a producer playground.
Yeah,
I'm sure just sitting in the FL
absolutely.
studio and
The
you're
sandbox.
Exactly. And that creative space, it's a wild jungle. What do you have let's say like a routine or like a ritual maybe? Like everybody has like a weird thing that just gets them prepped to get in that kitchen. Because for those of you that don't know, the studio, that's a producer's kitchen. That's where we chef up. That's where some of the greatest producers, like we go in there and we cook. We use those same terminologies as chefs do. So what's your flow like? Give us not the whole sauce, but just a little bit of the sauce, like as to like how you get into that
Okay.
groove a little bit?
All right. Well, for me to even start producing, if I even want to start producing, I have to be inspired. You know what I mean? Like I have to have an idea of what I want, or maybe I'm just bored, and then I'm just looking through stuff like maybe vocals or songs maybe that spark an interest to me that I want to remix. That'll really get me started. Mainly vocals.
Remixes were like was that where you like when you got into house, right? Were you making more house remixes before?
Straight remixes.
Straight remixes.
Straight remixes.
Cool. And with those remixes, let's touch on that because remixes it's a big deal.
Yep.
It's a big deal today. A lot of people are not only sampling old songs, but they're also making essentially old versions and turn them into new versions, but with house beats and house influences. So with that, is there something that speaks out to you a bit more when you're looking for that inspiration, or you come across inspiration that like speaks out to you a bit more?
The vocals got to be catchy. Or the melody. Either one. Whatever is like, gets you hooked in like that, then that's when I know it's gonna be a good remix.
That is true. Do you feel like there's is there one harder than the other to catch? Like, do you feel like you catch more catchy melodies or catchy vocals more?
I think both equally.
Both equally. It just depends on what you come across.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
And I manipulate them like differently too. So I even put my own sauce into the remix.
The Don Diego sauce right there. That's what people got to look out for. So, because a lot of people are remixing hip hop, Latin, Caribbean even, and making them into danceable house tracks that you would hear at these big festivals. Miami Music Week wasn't that long ago. You have Coachella that's, I believe, done or going on. Like it's insane to see that like dance music, house music is such a universal genre that is played in every country and on almost every continent. Like it's so universal. So to have such a big playground like that, do you find that there is anything that is intimidating about having so much to work with, but trying to find a way to just hone it all in? Like, where do you essentially like filter out like what will work and what won't work in terms of having such a big sandbox to play in?
Right. Honestly, yeah, I like the fact that house music is universal. That's what I enjoy about it most, because everybody likes house music.
Yep.
But I just make whatever I like, bro. Honestly, like if it sounds good, then if it sounds good to me, then I know it's gonna sound good to everybody else. That's definitely a vision. Yeah. I don't try to make music for a certain crowd specifically. I just like whatever. I just do whatever I like, and then
expose it to the masses.
If you like it, do you like it?
As DJs and producers, one of the first thing that there is that's like a critical learning point is just like you're never gonna please everybody. That's one thing that like
exactly.
If you can't get past that, you make that's a make or break lesson and skill set to have, where it's just like, yo, you're gonna please a lot of people, but everybody almost impossible.
You can't.
So now, in terms of, is there like how would you describe in your own words your niche in Don Diego's sound, where essentially Don Diego's your name, that's your brand, that's who you are, and people coming out to see you, where how to describe like what it would be like to go see John Summit or Odd Mob. Like you would know what like you're getting into when you're gonna go see them. Right. What would that be for you?
I would say the music unifies people, and then it just makes you like super happy, like my sound is a techie sounds, but also crazy drops and catchy hooks, vocals, melodies,
Are you more so with that are you more technical as a DJ or as a producer?
I would say producer. That's what I
Mm,
started off with for sure.
got you. Cause even take James Hype, for example. Like he almost had like some similarities in your story
Yeah.
where he did say like originally he was on Serato, he was a hip hop DJ,
Yeah.
he was just trying it out, and now you see him going viral on just like all the technical stuff he's doing when he's on the decks, just playing house music from cue
It's
loops.
crazy.
Like it's almost insane, and it's nothing compared, and it doesn't even sound like what he's producing. His production skills is just
Yeah.
like so. You get a little bit crazier in the remixing and the producing side versus
Yeah,
DJing. It's just like, all
making
right,
it.
now we're just gonna play it. You guys are gonna
Yeah.
enjoy the vibe over
I
here.
don't go too crazy with the DJ skills and effects or whatever. I try to make it all on the computer.
Got you. I mean, listen, that's what separates it. You know, that's
Mhm.
that's one of the elements that makes Don Diego Don Diego.
Yeah.
So that's actually really, really dope. Would you say is one of those hard obstacles that maybe either you're still facing or have faced that was like a significance in like you being a producer, or whether it be you being a producer or a DJ or both?
Um. Honestly, I'm just starting out, so I think getting people to listen to your music, promoting your music, it's always gonna be hard. You gotta be super creative, posting content all the time. Getting booked for shows, stuff like that. It's always hard, but you just gotta keep going.
The intimidation factor of like the fact that it's just like getting people to like, share, listen, get a listen. Even today, like before, music used to be able to be a lot longer than what it is now. And before, when you used to hear a house song, it would be the original mix.
Yeah.
Now, as a producer, I'm sure you'll also get people like, oh, like if you want us to play it, like we need a radio mix where there's no intro, there's no beat build, there's no kicks, there's no drums. It's
Mhm.
just bring it in from the melody and then just let the song roll in from there, just to even count it as a play, like whether that's in hip hop, house, whatever. So there is definitely a lot of intimidating factors in terms of getting people to listen back and forth. Have you found that even pushing past that, there's still a level of reception that people are taking a liking into in terms of your sound?
Um, what do you mean? Can you
So
explain
like,
more?
all right, all right, so in a more simplified way, what is the reception been like? Like, how are people receiving it? And like, what's like the feedback that you're getting from like when you push out your remixes or your originals?
Oh yeah, they love it, bro. As long as the music sounds good, they're gonna love it.
Do you feel like they're gravitating towards like the elements that you played around with a little bit more? Because like, for example, if I put out a mix,
Mm-hmm.
I might not just like certain transitions, I might not just, smoothly make sure like, all right, it's in key, it's in sync. All
Right.
right, boom. Next, I might do something like a little bit of a tone play, or I might do something a little bit different where it's okay, you would know this is something that I would do, like a calling
Mhm.
card almost.
Okay.
Do you find that like when people listen to your music where it's just like, yo, like the way you switch that up, like are they picking up on like some of like the little Easter eggs that you put in there?
Yeah, definitely, bro. Because I'm a tech house producer, and there's always techie elements, and I always try to put like some tribal elements too, because of the Latin background.
Yeah.
But as long as like the song is popular, I feel like that's when it hits the most. Because everybody knows it, and it's always gonna hit.
What's been your most what's your viral, like your most known like remix right now?
Oh, I dropped one recently. But the one by Ice Spice, the SpongeBob one,
Some
Big Guy,
yeah.
Big Guy, and then I mixed that with that one song. It's the old one. It's something called Bomb. I forget what the name is, but yeah, I blended those two together, and then I made my own like beat behind it.
So essentially you're finding something fun,
Mm-hmm.
another thing that's fun, and making it even more fun. That's
Exactly.
like the vibe there. Where because
Yeah.
I love the manipulation, and with
Yeah.
house music, especially tech house, there's so much room for whether it's live manipulation or coming from a producer aspect where you get to manipulate it from there. That's definitely also just as fun. So taking two elements and combining them together, whether it be in the form of a remix, an edit, a mashup, whatever the case is, those things go like for miles, especially when people are so receptive to it. But in terms of original, what is something original that we can touch on, like to kind of give people a little bit of an insight of what to expect or like see upcoming from you?
An original I just dropped.
Well, we got talk about
sure,
it. Talk about it.
yeah,
Let's hear about it.
Yeah, I just dropped YSL 101 with YSL Mommy. She sent me her vocals through the phone, voice memo, and I remixed it. I cooked something up. I sent it to her. She fucked with it. I cooked up some more, brought it back to the studio, mixed it up, and then dropped it and put mad promotion behind it, and it's pretty good. It's going pretty good now.
Have you gotten like are we at the point yet where maybe we're getting some support from some other maybe bigger names that are playing some stages and shows? Have we been in contact with anybody that we could, we see maybe a collab come with in the future maybe?
I hope so. I sent it out to actually a bunch of DJs. I haven't checked the status on that yet, but I put it on label Radar, and I got quite a few hit ups on there, but I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that yet, though.
So now you told us earlier that once you went to your first rave, you already caught the envisionment. You were like, yo, I can do this. I can do this. I like the way this sounds, I like the way this feels. If it feels like this in the crowd, you can only imagine what it feels like being on stage.
Yeah.
So have we had a stage moment that we can talk about a little bit and like what it felt like, playing?
Yeah, I just played over the weekend at Stereo Garden and Patchogue.
Nice venue.
Yeah, definitely. So that was probably the biggest venue I've performed at so far, and it was mad fun, bro. It was super lit. Had my friends there. Man, it was very memorable.
Was there a moment that night where like you kind of froze and you were like, let me absorb this in for a second, where you were just like, yeah, like this is what I envision?
Yeah, definitely. I have a really big support from my friends, the girls. So shout out to the girls, yo. Yeah, yo, they pulled up behind me at the stage. They were there. We were all vibing, bro. And then our song came up. Alive is called, and we were all just singing along. That's like my favorite part of performing is just when everybody's singing along.
That karaoke
in unison, moment, you know what I mean?
That is a moment, right? Especially if it's like it's your song and like you actually do have that reception, everyone knows it, and it's just like, holy crap, they know my song.
Yeah,
they know my song. I got the support. Everyone's catching the vibe, and like you're the curator of a moment like that.
Yeah,
that's a legendary. I can definitely relate to that. So I can only imagine being in that moment, playing at a venue like that, what that must have felt like.
Yeah.
Do we have any upcoming goals that we're trying to hit in 2026 where it's like, this year I want this done, I want to play here, I want to collab with this, I want to drop this song? What are the 2026 goals that people can look out for where it's like, I got to make sure like, we pre-saving anything or we have any upcoming shows? Like, what are the 2026 goals and ambitions for this year?
Just generally just playing more shows, bro. I want to go out to the city more too and start playing out there. I feel like I'll probably get more support out there too. I love the Long Island scene. They've been good to me, but I want to go out there in the city too, though. Show some love.
That is a big deal. Yeah. A lot of different creatives will travel to the hearts of where a lot of creatives are made and discovered. New York, Los Angeles, Miami, Toronto, you name it. That's where some of the big names have played some legendary places. Like take Pasha, for example. Pasha was a legendary New York City nightclub, and now they're, supposedly coming back, taking over Brooklyn Mirage and bringing Pasha vibes back, which I'm curious to see.
Yeah, dude.
But with that, all right. So New York City, Long Island, Strong Island's there. You got the Strong Island support. You
Yeah.
played Stereo Garden. What venues in New York City would you want to play at?
I've been to what's it called? Superior Ingredients.
Okay.
Yeah, I love
Yep.
that venue, bro. It's always fire, bro.
That's a room you could envision yourself being in. And
The rooftop, hell yeah.
Yeah. There's a number of different spots. New York is like that, where it's like whether it's a rooftop, a warehouse, like it changes. Okay, so
many
actually
venues.
another great question: big rooms or small rooms?
I think small rooms.
Why?
They're more intimate.
Mm.
Yeah, dude. They feel the love more, you know?
Yep. That right there, you feel like you're touching and talking to your audience a bit more directly versus playing for
They're more engaged to you.
Yeah. You get to be more tapped in with them, really make that connection versus being on a stage and you're like
personal.
Still 20, 30 feet away from them and there's like thousands over there just watching you. It doesn't have that same connection. Like you might not have that same connection with people in the front versus people in the back. So those small intimate rooms makes a big, big difference.
I like when people get more unified, you know?
That's a solid point to touch on too as well. And you can definitely have those moments in smaller rooms, having more intimacy with them and connecting with them a lot more. Travel, is that a thing that we could hope, to also get into in terms of shows? Where do you see yourself? What's like 3 places you see yourself like, I want to go and perform here and play a show over here? You feel like people over there would like be very receptive into a Don Diego show?
Like across country,
whether it's in the States, whether it's international, like any aspiring play outside of New York City, because New York City, you got over here, but where do we see ourselves taking Don Diego to?
I'm not sure of too many venues, but I would love to play in festivals like EDC,
cool,
or Ultra.
Those are
festivals like those.
Those are massive. Absolutely massive. I've been to EDC, a lot of stages, a lot of energy, a lot of unity, and that exact energy that you're trying to envision, super duper big deal over there. So I could definitely see that music being carried over.
Yeah, dude, I need the main stage. That's what I need. One of my bigger goals,
Some big DJs actually don't necessarily care for main stage because, again, like you said, in terms of the difference of whether or not you would prefer to play a big warehouse venue or a small like intimate room setting, you would still like in a setting like that you prefer main stage.
Yeah,
got you,
definitely.
So aside from goals, shows, and other things of that nature, do we see anything that the people can like lock into and prepare for? Do we have anything upcoming and dropping? Do we have any collabs, any songs? Anything of that nature that's coming up, because summer's coming up. So what's coming up next? What's like in the near future that people can look out for?
Yeah, I have a few originals that I've been working on, close to finishing, and I have a bunch of remixes that I don't know if I'm ready to drop yet. I don't know if y'all ready.
Sometimes you gotta let it sit in the studio a little bit longer before you even give them a little snippet. Sometimes it be like that.
Nah, I have a bunch of projects, bro. I'm trying to get everything organized, ready to roll out. I want everything to have some good promotion behind it, so it can be like the best amount of so I can capitalize on the views and stuff.
And the strategy, you're locked in, you're good to go. Yeah. You see, all right. So man's got the rollout over there. So
yes, sir.
Listen, Radio HAVN cannot be more pleased than we are right now to have you, and we're definitely keeping all eyes locked in to see what's up and coming in next. But for the people out there that are also just as curious as we are to see what's up next for Don Diego, this is the part where we need you to lock in and give in that plug. Let them know where to find the music, where to stream the music, listen out for the reels, the TikToks, the little sneak peeks of the remixes coming up, the originals coming up. And tell the people where they can find you.
Yes, sir. I'm on all platforms as Don Diego US. You can find me on Instagram, Prod Don Diego, PROD Don Diego. Same thing on SoundCloud, YouTube. Everything's on there. And thank you guys for having me.
Just don't forget, We need the exclusives. We need the sauce before, they do. So just don't forget this happens. Just don't forget us, because I want to play some Don Diego remixes in my sets too as well. I'm always loving and new sounds to incorporate. But ladies and gentlemen, you heard it over here at Radio Haven. That was Don Diego. I've been your host, DJ McLovin. And until next time, we'll catch you.